Say it's the Hood CNN with your favorite hood reporter, the Prime Minister of Hood Education, Dr. Monroe. Because I got a PhD in common sense and I'm a 5-star general. Today we're going to talk about the real reason that there's a teacher shortage in the United States of America as well as locally. And I'm going to tell you the real about it. Let's get to it. Say, man, I want to welcome you to another episode of the Hood CNN with your favorite hood reporter, the Prime Minister of Hood Education, Dr. Monroe. Because I got a PhD in common sense, and you know I'm a 5-star general. People been wanting me to speak on this for a minute, so I told them, I say, you know what? I'm going to do it. I say, just give me time because I got other things that I got to do. But when my people call for me to speak on something, then I'm going to speak on it. You know, I want you to push the share button on this video because it's going to get hot. And that's why I got the parental advisory explicit lyrics up here because I'm going to say what I got to say. I'm going to say what I got to say now. Why do we have a teacher shortage in the United States of America? I'm not going to focus on the United States of America. If you live in Louisiana, you need to focus on Louisiana. I'm going to focus on Texas, and now I'm going to break that down even further. I'm going to focus on surrounding areas. But I'm going to speak from a broader scale, and you'll get it, no matter what state you're in. So what's the real reason that we have a teacher shortage in the United States of America? I will say this. Where I'm from, I'm down in Houston, Texas, y'all. You don't pay them enough. You pay these teachers like they stripping at the Bucking Club, man. And they brand new. So when you're a brand new stripper, you don't make that much money. You feel what I'm saying? You paying them bullshit salaries. You expect them to work 17, 18 hours a day. You expect them to accomplish your academic goals. But yet at the same time, you pay them like they ain't shit. That is one reason for your teacher shortage. Another reason is a lot of these older teachers have decided to retire. Not because they wanted to, because you mistreat them. The mistreatment of teachers has been going on for far too long. And they are treating teachers like garbage. And you expect them to continuously show up and be abused to the highest power, but you expect for them not to leave. So the older teachers have decided that they're going to leave. Another reason that you're losing a bunch of teachers is in America, you have a bunch of conservative Republican teachers. And some of your ideologies that you're pushing through in your curriculum does not work for some of these teachers. This is the realization of it. Whether you like it or not, that a bunch of Republican teachers have decided to walk away. Another reason that teachers are leaving because they don't like the curriculum. You guys are pushing stuff through in these curriculums that don't make sense some days. And one of the biggest reasons, and we're going to touch on everything, is the actual violence. Whether it's coming from outside of the school, whether it's happening inside of the school. And the physical violence that teachers incur on a daily basis. So let's touch on a few things. Who do you expect to work in an environment where a goddamn kid, and this is why I put parental advisory up there. I couldn't find explicit words or comments, so I put explicit lyrics. You expect for somebody to work in a professional educational environment where a kid can beat the shit out of them. They send them to the office and you send them back to class. You expect for grown people to be physically abused, and there's no consequences. Some people grew up wanting to be teachers. Little girls, little boys wanted to be teachers because that's what they wanted to be. They were impacted by teachers along their journey. There's no respect in the schools anymore. There's no discipline in the schools anymore. And the question is, why is it like that? Because there's a bigger plot. There is a bigger plot. But what people don't understand is when you create a plot and you dig one grave, you have to dig two. Thunder says people don't want to be teachers anymore because parents don't practice home training and then send their untrained and undisciplined kids to school. I could agree with you to a certain degree. But at the same time, if a kid goes to school and violates the student code of conduct, there are no goddamn consequences. I don't give a fuck if they were untrained when they left the house. When they showed up at the school and they cussed the teacher out, what's the fucking consequence? They have a student code of conduct. They won't follow it. And you know why? And let's just be truthful. It's not that the administration will not follow the student code of conduct. It's because the district doesn't want them sending them to alternative school. Because TEA will look at us a different way. They'll frown on all these kids going to alternative school. If your black ass come in class and you do something fucked up, go to alternative school. You think these principals don't want to discipline these children. The school districts don't want them to discipline them because they don't want to get dinged by TEA. The same place you act an ass at is the same place you should suffer the consequences at. I know some of y'all on here are teachers and, you know, they know you watch me and you can't agree and because they watch you. But you know I'm not lying. You know these kids do shit and they send them to you send them to the office and they send them right back. It's not because they want to send them back, because they can't let the numbers go up on the number of disciplinary infractions that they have on these campuses. So they're creating a culture where they empower these children to be out of control. Don't give a damn what your mama ain't taught you. If you kin to me and you come to my house, you already know what the fuck it is. So we send them to school, and they don't do that. A lot of these kids don't do the shit they do at home. Well, let me say it a different way. They don't do the shit at home that they do at school. That's why some parents will tell you he don't do this at home, because he really doesn't do it. But they can do it at school. Because one, you took the discipline out of the schools. And see, that'll take me back a bit. Take me back a while and a bit. Because right now there's a plan with schools. See, everybody know what's best for education. They ain't talk to no fucking parents. They ain't talk to no fucking teachers. They ain't talk to no fucking administrators. But they all know what's best for education. A lot of the people making educational decisions on a broader scale have never set foot in the fucking classroom. They don't know. But the goal is to privatize all of our schools. Okay, I get it. I get it. Be careful what you wish for. Be careful what you wish for. See, because everybody knows what's best. And then when the shit fuck up, don't nobody want to own it. They don't want to own their fuck ups. I give you an example, like Rodney Ellis with his bond reform. That shit that fell through the fucking floor. And now he won't own it because he knew he fucked up. He knew he fucked, and I'm not picking on Ellis. I'm using that as an example. Hidalgo, you supported bond reform, but now that the shit all fucked up, you want to throw everybody else under the bus. But you were the motherfucker pushing this. So the people that's pushing privatization, be careful what the fuck you wish for. Because the same kids that you're saying are out of control and you want to do vouchers and they can go wherever they want. I get it. I get it. But them same out of control kids going to have to come to your private and privatized schools. So what you going to do when they smoking weed on your front lawn? What you going to do when your Cadillac converters come up missing? See, this is what my teachers and my administrators have to deal with on a daily basis. So when you want something, are you prepared for what comes with it? Them same kids are going to have to be there. They're going to have to be there. You have too many people making decisions on education that don't know what the fuck they doing. Just because somebody has a doctorate doesn't mean that they're expert in something. I need y'all to understand something. A lot of these people with all these high-powered ass degrees in the last 20 years, they ain't do their work. They got that shit online. Their friends did their classes for them. These motherfuckers, they ain't smart. Now, I will say, every class that I've taken, I've done the work. Every class I've taken, I've done the work. Maybe that's why I sound a little bit more knowledgeable than some of these people. And then I dabble in education advocacy. That means I'm around education all the time. Do you expect a motherfucking teacher to keep showing up to an abusive relationship or situation? Another reason that teachers are leaving the profession, these schools ain't safe, bro. These schools ain't safe. I don't give a fuck about no buyback program yesterday. So if we saying that was a successful program, it was a buyback program to get guns off the streets, let's do the data. How many guns were turned in from criminals? Because just turning a gun in from a law-abiding citizen doesn't take guns off the streets. Explain that. So these schools are not safe. And I haven't seen Deer Park and Pasadena in this area that made any strides to make sure that their schools were safer. HISD hasn't. Fort Bend hasn't. And these teachers are not going to risk their lives to go up in these buildings that are not safe. They're not considered safe. They're not going to do it. I'm sorry. They're just not going to do it. They're not going to do it. Now, we don't even want to talk about the real reason, one of the biggest reasons why teachers are leaving the fucking profession. Because they're not getting enough money. They're not getting enough fucking money. I said what I said, and I'm not finna slow down on that. How do you expect somebody to work 18 hours a fucking day and you pay them $61,000 a year? If they were working 8 hours a day, that probably would be decent. The cost of living is high, especially during this pandemic. By the time your little bogus ass insurance shit take about $7,000 to $8,000 to $10,000 from your healthcare bullshit, they're not making any money. Starting teacher salaries should be well over $75,000 a year. You want a top-notch education to be taught, but you're paying them like they're your bitch. You're paying them like they're your bitch. Excuse my French, but parental advisory, explicit lyrics. Fort Bend ISD, Katy ISD, Sci-Fi ISD, HISD ISD, HISD, ISD. How the fuck you some of the largest school districts in Texas and you can barely pay these motherfucking teachers? But these flunky motherfuckers that's your friends can come in there like they're experts in something and you pay them $150,000, $200,000 a year and them bitches can't do nothing. Teachers are the backbones of the United States of America. But yet you don't pay them shit. And then you set rules and parameters to make sure that if they decide, look, I don't want to do this shit, man. You abusing me. The kids beating me the fuck up. I'm not making enough money. So if they want to leave and say fuck it and quit the job like a regular job, you attack their certifications. People are tired of that bullshit. And that's why they're leaving the teaching profession. Now, who suffers when they leave? The kids. HISD has over 800 openings right now, according to what I understand. May have been lowered in the last week, but 800 openings. You really think we're going to get 800 top-notch teachers? No, at this point in the game, they'll hire anybody named motherfucking mama. So here come the pedophiles. Here come the motherfuckers with PTSD. Here come the motherfuckers that just don't like kids, period. But because they have a degree, you got to throw them in our schools. Here come the undercover racists. All this. And this is what you do to us every year. And you don't bring all these fucked up people into the affluent neighborhoods. You bring all these fucked up people into our neighborhoods. And then a lot of people are walking away from the teaching profession because you're giving all these big ass bonuses and stipends to these brand new teachers who ain't taught one day in a fucking classroom. And you disrespect the ones that have been on your payroll for over 20 years. And they say, fuck you, I got enough time. I got enough time in. I can retire. And they walk away. And that leaves these kids without somebody that can adequately teach them. We don't even want to talk about curriculum. Because they're walking away because this funk-ass curriculum that y'all doing, man, that shit is a joke. You got Mike Morav telling TEA, this is the curriculum we're going to use. And this is coming from a guy who has never been a fucking teacher that runs the whole teaching profession in the state of Texas. It's not right to have pornographic materials in your schools. Teachers are walking away because they agree that shit shouldn't be in our schools. I agree with them. It shouldn't be in our schools. Anything that's divisive should not be as a part of our curriculum. You see what I'm saying? So if you want to know why teachers are leaving, don't think that these good teachers are just being selfish or that they don't give a damn about these children, because they do. You know what? When you say that, I want to put this comment up because all of y'all seem to know. Sorry, but you are describing some of the veteran teachers. Not all teachers are good teachers. I hear you, but we have some that need to go. I agree. And you have some that don't need to come the fuck in the front door. How the fuck do you evaluate these teachers as far as being brand new and you stick them into a school like Worthing High School, fresh out of college? You don't know if these people can handle 45 kids in a fucking classroom. And we want to get rid of the veteran teachers, and you want to know why we want to get rid of some of them? I'm going to tell you the real reason why they are not good anymore. Because they fucking know how to teach. And this new way of teaching ain't what they good at. Some of them do know how to teach children how to read. Hold on, let's talk about that. Yeah. All this new shit that we done brought in here, it ain't working. So why the fuck these kids can't read? Every time you look up, we changing the fucking curriculum. Why in the fuck these kids can't read? Lucy Moreno, who was a great teacher, I revoked my retirement to go back, and because I won my grievance against then someone from the previous internship, the previous intern got her feelings hurt and wouldn't let me in. Basically, what she's saying, she was a great teacher. I know that for a fact. She was a hell of a teacher. She filed a grievance. She went back, but they wouldn't let her teach. They weren't gonna let her teach no more because somebody got their fucking feelings hurt. Why is Lucy Moreno not in the fucking school? Now, a lot of people would say, oh, well, she needed to go. You don't know that. I'm telling you she was a good teacher. Why the fuck? She not in the school. We have sorry. Hold on, man, because this is real, bro. This is real. Let me back up a little bit. You telling me? Hold on. Let me. Okay, let me put your comment up. They should be paid based on performance. Been at it for over 20 years. What subject you teach? They can't read because we have sorry principals and instructional specialists. We've been at it for over 20 years. And the reason they can't read is because we have sorry principals and instructional specialists. So here's a question. How did all the black kids in America get dumb at the same time? You telling me all you women gave birth to kids and they all had the same problem, so this is why they can't read? All of us at one time in our lives could not fucking read. All of us at one time in our life could not read. So here's my question. The strategies, the curriculum that was used to teach you, Natalie, how to read, me, Gary Monroe, how to read. Yes, I can compare now. If you learn how to ride a bicycle, bicycles ain't changed. We're talking about teaching a child how to read. We're talking about teaching a child how to read. So you're telling me because you have 20 years of teaching that we needed to change the way we did things. No. Too many smart people showed up in the room. Too many people started guinea pig programs that line their pockets because, oh, well, let me tell you, we shouldn't do it this way. Let's do it this way. This has been proven to work, and it's never been proven. It's all about the money. You're dealing with kids that don't come to school but 40% of the time. I was in the 6th grade at Hobby Elementary. And my sister was going through what she was going through, and she would skip school all the time. And my mom would work hard, and she would go to work early in the morning. 5 in the morning, she would leave. So she banked on us getting up to go to school. I missed 85 days of school in the 6th grade. But because I knew how to read and do what I needed to do, I did not flunk. The reason that I am the person that I am now is because of the teachers that I had. We're not teaching children the basics anymore. We're not, and a lot of teachers are leaving. As much as y'all feel some of them need to go, a lot of teachers are leaving because they're not being allowed to teach. They're not being allowed to teach. I don't care if you've been teaching whoever on here that's an educator, former educator. If you did it for 40 years, well, if the shit worked for you, why it don't work for them? If it don't work for you, why it don't work for them? You telling me a kid can't read, he can't memorize, he can't do this, he can't do that, but yet he can get on a basketball court and memorize every goddamn play. He can get on a football field and learn 100 and 150 plays easily. But he can't memorize mathematics. He can't figure out how to do science. And to be honest with you guys, the reason that a lot of kids don't come to school, the reason that a lot of kids they skip class, because school is boring as fuck nowadays. You're running schools like minimum security prisons, and you expect the kids to conform to the bullshit. You have a lot of people that are on the staff that don't have the passion to be educators. But we don't want to admit that. Motherfucker ain't go to school to be a school teacher. He went to school, he got a business major. And because he couldn't find a job in that field, he was able to come and teach a class. Teachers that have passion will reach the students. The reason that a lot of these black schools are going through what they're going through, we don't want to admit it. That no matter what anybody says, there are no real world courses on the campus anymore. There is no wood shop. There is no welding on our black campuses. There's nothing that attracts a kid to the school. If he takes welding at the end of the day, he knows he has to be there all day. So shit, while I'm here, I might as well just do what the fuck I need to do so I can get to welding class. A lot of these schools are failing right now because at high school, you have to have so many kids take technical courses. I'm telling you what I know. So if they can't take cosmetology, then they ding the school. That can make your school get a bad grade from TEA if you don't have enough kids taking cosmetology, enough kids taking auto mechanics, enough kids taking those technical courses. This is how schools fail and get poor academic ratings. But is it the children's fault that you cocksuckers took all these courses off the campuses? If you send your child to James Madison, as a parent, you shouldn't have to get your child in the middle of the day and bus them over to Barbara Jordan to take cosmetology. And a lot of kids don't want to do that shit. So because we don't have enough kids taking these technical courses, it looks like the school is failing. So if you want them to take them, why don't you put all this shit back up in there? Yates had auto mechanics. Yates had cleaning and pressing. You see what I'm saying? Why don't you put them back in there? Why don't you put them back on our campuses? You want them to take culinary arts? They shouldn't have to bus to another school. Y'all don't see what's going on? You're busing them out of our neighborhoods into the white neighborhoods to get a quality education. Come on, bro. Come on, bro. It's the 60s all over again. You don't see segregation? And you think teachers want to keep accepting that type of shit? When will the hood accept responsibility for our kids? We as a people got to do better by our own kids. And I get that. But I said it earlier. When you send them to school and there is no goddamn accountability for their actions, they probably don't do that shit at home, some of these kids. But y'all don't want to hear that. Y'all just think, oh, they cutting up at school. They clowning at home too. It's not necessarily the fucking truth. Listen to what you just said. Most principals opt out of these courses because they cost and they blow up their yearly bullshit. Bullshit! We had this shit on our campuses. It was already there. They took them away. And now you want people to bust their children across town in the middle of a fucking school day. That's bullshit. And what we got to quit doing is co-signing on the bullshit. Bring that shit back to them schools. You know how many kids go to Barbara Jordan that should be fucking going to Wheatley because they don't have the shit that Barbara Jordan has? They built a new high school less than a mile from Yates. Really? 1, 2, 4 blocks from Yates. Brand new. Yates, 96 years old. Walk in that brand new school and explain to me why they got shit that them kids at Yates don't have. That population is half the size of Yates. So if it's about the number of kids that creates money, And how does a school with half the population have more to offer with the school that has double the population? They're educating who the fuck they want to educate. And they got you believing that we are the fucking problem when we are not. We are the fucking problem because we drinking the Kool-Aid believing they bullshit. I'm just sitting there. I'm looking at another page, y'all, so that's what I'm doing. Ashley Oliphant said Madison used to have home economics, hotel management, daycare, and other programs. So why should they have to leave Madison to go to another school and do that? The same way you took our tax money and you put that shit in them other schools, why you didn't take our tax money and put it in this school? So if you want them to take more technical classes, you see what I'm saying? They could take them right there on their campus. But you put it in the other school because you really want the other school to thrive because they serve a different population of children. Natalie said, Mr. Monroe, that starts with the school board. We don't even want to talk about that. You know why we don't want to talk about the school board? Because I can't understand why the fuck I ain't on it. When it was time to stand up at the motherfucking polls, you didn't show up like you needed to. So now you get to deal with me from this perspective. See, because the one thing I'm not going to do is get on a school board and fuck around and play. No, Natalie, it's not the principals and SSOs that are responsible. It's the superintendent. Mr. Superintendent can come at any minute and say, I want well, it's not home economics. That's what it was when I went to school. I want culinary arts on every one of these failing school campuses. And guess what? They'll shift some money around. They'll make it happen. I want auto mechanics at Worthing, Yates, Madison. Madison had auto mechanics. And if that's what they want, they'll shift some money around. Y'all don't even wake up and smell the coffee, bro. You ain't noticed something. When that shit happened at Bel Air, they did exactly what I said. They were going to keep that shit quiet. And you know why they were going to keep it quiet? Because that white population of parents wasn't putting up with their bullshit. You notice how Bel Air shit just went away? Rontrell say they don't realize if they shut our black schools down, we're going to invade their schools. You goddamn right. That's why I said in the beginning, be careful what you wish for. You notice how you can't use that Bel Air baseball field? You notice how they allowed them to write it into their contract? And the district agreed with that shit? That you can't use that Bel Air baseball field if you're not from Bel Air High School? Okay, so what if we want to do a Hall of Fame banquet at a school? Or they're going to make you pay for that? They don't do that at those other schools, man. When are you going to see we're segregated? When are you going to see that if we keep drinking the Kool-Aid, then this shit going to keep happening? Dwight Jones say, I remember all of that when I worked at Barber Jordan for careers. And a few years later, the program started dropping and dropping. See, when Barber Jordan only catered to the black kids, predominantly black, they ain't have all that shit over there. But as soon as they started upgrading it and they started getting some of them black kids up out of there, and they could get a different type of kid to come up in there, they started upgrading. You ain't never noticed that the only time they upgrade our schools is when they're trying to close them so they can turn them into charter schools? Because they have another plan for them. Do you understand that the only time that they're going to fix our schools is when they start gentrifying our neighborhood and a different type of people is moving into our neighborhood? All of a sudden, the schools become priority. Natalie say they also drop credit recovery in black campuses. That's because of me. Because I exposed the fact that you were allowing kids to move furniture to get grades. That ain't how school works. And I don't give a fuck if anybody got mad at me about it. I exposed that shit. They need you to keep drinking the Kool-Aid. And the reason that education is fucked up to a certain degree, it all plays a part now, is these motherfucking teacher unions. These fuck-ass teacher unions want to run these goddamn school districts. The teacher unions, I watch a dude make a comment every day on Twitter. The teachers stand with this. Bitch, shut the fuck up, because all of them don't agree with you. The teacher unions are one of the biggest reasons that your school systems is fucked up. Because it doesn't matter if they're public or private. The union's going to make their money off y'all dumbasses. And you don't really need to pay that teacher union $600 a year for what? For what? No representation when you have a fucking problem? They know what's best for schools. You know how many teachers watch this program that have been fucked by the union? You know how many teachers I've had to represent that the union turned their backs on and they sided with the district and shit on the teachers, and you still paying them $600 a year? They don't give a fuck about you, and they don't give a fuck about these kids at all. But they want you to think, oh, he's the angry black man. He's crazy. Well, if I'm so motherfucking crazy, Mr. Union Rep, why the fuck you keep your eyes on me all the time? Why the fuck you watch my program? Why the fuck you out here dispelling whatever I say? You going against what I say. You know why, bitch? Because you watching me. And you know I'm telling the truth on everything. Stop giving your motherfucking money to them unions, man. Them hoes don't do nothing but leave you hanging. $600 a year. And I wanna see this young lady's name again. I like when we have good Natalie. You've been a teacher for over 20 years, Natalie. Would you be able to tell us the truth? And I don't need to know which one. How long have you been a member of the teachers union? Talk to me, Natalie. How long have you been giving these people your money? Talk to me, Natalie. How long have you been giving them your money? How many times have you even had to use them? Brian, and you've been with them for 20 years. How many times you used them? How many times you used them? You know how many calls I get, especially after they start riffing people around April and May? Start fucking over people. From teachers. They ain't got no stroke, man. But if people want to know the real reasons why people are leaving education, go back, I told you. Go back, I told you. Kudos to my teachers. Kudos to my teachers, man. 17, 18 hours a day for crumbs. I got to sit here today and work on 2 contracts. 2 things I'm working on. And for 2 months a year, 2 months out of this year, that's all it's going to be for. $80,000. And you going in them classrooms 17, 18 hours a day to make crumbs and get treated like shit. They can't operate schools without you. I don't give a damn what job I've ever worked. I don't give a damn what position I was in financially. But you're not going to treat me any kind of fucking way on the job. You can take it and stick it square up your ass. And I meant that. And then I hit a point where, you know what? I ain't going to never make it in corporate America. Fuck it, I'm done. I start my own company. I work for me. And that's what I did. I work for me. I refuse to work for them people. Natalie, you keep commenting to me, I don't make crumbs. Well, baby, unless you can make $80,000 in 2 months, you tell me what you're making. That's what I'm finna do. Fuck, I'm not going up in there to make what y'all make. And I'm not finna be proud of making the shit that y'all make. Because you should be making far more. I need you to understand that. You should be making double what the fuck you make right now. Because them fucking peons inside the district offices, they don't do half the shit y'all do. They make twice as much, 3 times as much as you. So don't settle. And that's the reason they shit on y'all. Because y'all have started to settle. I'm through talking to you. I think I've communicated with you enough. I appreciate your comments. I don't care if you left HISD. I don't give a fuck where you work. You're not making enough money for what you do. You're not making enough. But maybe that's enough for you. So you guys, I'm finna shut down. I got to work on what I need to work on. See, but that's my opinion. And that's where I'm going to leave it at, right there. That's where I'm going to leave it at. Now, I don't know what you do. I don't really care. Because what you do and what you make in a whole year, I ain't going to work a whole year to make that shit. I'm going to do that shit in a couple of months. 2-3 months. I make whatever you make. So kudos to you, my friend. According to Harriet Tubman, the reason a lot of black people remain slaves is because they just didn't know they was one. Say, man, it's the realest convo on social media. And you know what it is, man. Say it's the Hood CNN with your favorite hood reporter, the Prime Minister of Hood Education, Dr. Monroe. Because I got a PhD in common sense. And I'm a 5-star general. Say you guys have a beautiful Sunday. I'll see you tomorrow on the War Zone, 7 o'clock.